Welcome to Let's Get Trashed All-Star Edition. Don't talk
I'm sorry,
while I'm doing the motherfucking
I had something to
intro.
say.
I got 4 words into my goddamn podcast before Jimmy interrupted.
Woo!
Did I finish? I didn't finish a sentence. Had a whole thing about the
I had something to say.
about the also. I'm sure you do. That's why I brought you on a podcast. We have a whole hour and whatever to do it.
I'll keep it to myself.
Yeah. Did it have to be literally 4 seconds?
It was going to be so funny.
Into this recording.
It was going to be so funny.
It couldn't have been. It couldn't have been.
It would have been.
It couldn't have been so funny to interrupt the title of the podcast.
We'll never know.
Being the first thing said.
Okay, well,
you are the Steven Seagal of this podcast right now. You are the worst guest they've ever had.
I'm back.
So
I'm continually the worst guest.
Welcome, the All-Star Edition. Although we're more like the what's a country that's bad at basketball? Lithuania's.
I mean, any Europe country, right?
Antarctica, honestly.
Yeah, Antarctica. They can eat shit.
They're not really doing a lot.
They could step it up.
Swedish niggas. What's up?
With me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm, as always, your host, Nick Tozzo, at Nick Tozzo on Twitter, at Nick Tozzo Drums on Instagram.
The Tozzler.
With me, to my immediate right, you can see longtime favorite of the pod, Jimmy D, my co-host on our wildly popular RRR episode, which is at probably 10,000 views by the time this comes out. And returning once again, Clarence Riley the Fourth, from, as you may recognize from our Blade episode. And this is a very special ep because 3 of us on the pod, baby.
Yeah, there's 3 people.
There's 3 of us.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's what you're gonna say. You didn't think I would get there.
Well, I just wanted to be sure.
I'm glad you were going to specify.
Yeah,
for sure.
There's 3 of us.
It also, first of all, it's a thing that doesn't have to be said. Certainly doesn't have to be said while I'm saying something else, but it doesn't have to be said because it's a video. They can hear us.
Well, they don't know about.
They can hear Clarence's.
If they were only listening.
They don't know about this little gentleman that we have down here that's scheduled to pop up halfway through when we start recording.
Oh, there's 4.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, this is a 4 max podcast because I don't think Well, I guess I would just have to add another channel of that thing. We had a lot of microphone trouble, people, but that's all right.
Jimmy fixed it.
Jimmy fixed it. Thank God we have Jimmy here.
You know what, Jimmy D, love your fucking breakfast sausage. Lots
Oh,
of fennel.
thanks, dude. This is a line I like to say. I'm easy like breakfast.
Oh, there's a line I like to say. Anyway.
Easy, like, is breakfast particularly easy?
Yes, it's the easiest meal to make.
I like that that's the one he had a
For
problem
you,
with.
I guess.
Not yelling.
No, I'm used to
Random outbursts.
Yeah, I'm used to Clarence just, going wild and screaming.
Going psycho mode?
Yeah, goblin mode.
Clarence Has Gone Wild is not the movie we're here to talk about today.
Oh,
but
segue master.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
We are here to talk about the 3rd entry from star director Jordan Peele.
Batting 1,000 right now.
He's doing really well.
Anyway,
according to that's according to critics, I've only seen one of his movies, as have you.
Correct.
Clarence and I.
What?
I've only seen one Jordan.
Clarence and I have only seen Nope. Yeah. Oh, you do this.
Yeah.
No. Just because I'm black doesn't mean we're required to see every nigga's movie that comes out.
I mean, look.
All right, after Soul Plane, they stopped that rule.
I mean, I saw Get Out and felt pretty woke for that. I was like, wow, I'm really good. I'm a good ally.
Get Out is the movie that Jordan Peele made to make white people say, I felt pretty woke for that.
Yeah, well, I'm an ally now.
And now,
I'm back.
And now, I did a little bit of research into this. I mean, after watching the movie, I read a couple of reviews, and goddamn, the white people are bending over backwards to say this is the greatest movie they've ever seen.
I texted 2 people that today.
I mean, I don't remember this guy's name, something Brody, who writes for the New Yorker.
Adrian Brody?
Yeah, Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
Adrian Brody.
The pianist.
Of the
the pianist of the New York Giants.
Yeah, just the biggest nose at the New Yorker. He
knows.
Yeah. He wrote a review of Nope that is, I mean, it's shocking in how, like, it's shocking in how much he's sucking Jordan Peele's dick for.
I was gonna say,
like,
yeah.
And
did he write it on his knees?
And in a way of like talking about the references to, it's like none of that was there, dude. That's just I almost obviously I don't feel bad for Jordan Peele, but I do recognize that it's not necessarily, I think it's unfair that this black dude Jordan Peele, he can't just make a movie without every white person on a newspaper having to like praise him for how like
it's like patronizing.
Yeah, it's almost like, maybe he didn't, I don't know. It's too much. It's too much. We get it, Adrian Brody. You're probably not racist.
Adrian Brody.
Relax.
Definitely Adrian Brody.
You don't have to make up a bunch of shit that's
He's
not...
like, I use the black keys too. Yeah. It's like, okay, Brody, we get it.
That is such a great name for a something. I don't know what, but I'm searching for it. I use the black keys too.
Yeah.
I apologize for stepping on your dick there, Nick.
It's
please.
just, you don't, I agree, he's going out of his way to... There's things that are not there.
Sure.
That being said... First impressions, I really like the movie.
Yes, I love the movie.
And here's what I want to do. I'm gonna control this a little bit more than I normally do. Usually I'm a fucking, I'm the go for it kid. We just
now we're talking.
We just turn these microphones on, pray to God that the computer works, and we fucking rip and ride.
We rip roar it.
But we're gonna talk about some stuff. We're gonna have a clear spoiler.
That's what you think.
Demarcation. And then we're going to have a section at the end where people can skip if they don't want to see spoilers.
Okay.
And I am going to do some editing, and I'm going to put that information in there so you will know what section to skip. I promise I'm going to do this. And if I don't, it's because I don't care.
I saw a comment on the RRR episode where a guy said 18 minutes 10 seconds in is the actual review.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude,
thanks to that guy, by the way. Big shout out to our big fan,
big old
I don't remember his name, but thanks for doing that for
Donald.
me.
What an
probably
absolute unit that guy
is.
That
guy
or
absolutely stacked.
Or gal.
So zero women commenting, unfortunately.
No, I think there were some women in the mix.
I think they were talking about my veins.
Okay.
Okay. They weren't.
So we all saw this movie last night. Clarence and I saw it together, but Jimmy saw it. I didn't get an invite.
I didn't know they were watching it.
I didn't think you'd come to South Austin.
I didn't know how long we'd be holding hands, but it felt like a while.
So, it's fresh in our minds, off the press, hot off the presses, folks. What did you guys think? Without spoiling anything, let's talk about the setup. Anything. Let's talk about the beginning stuff.
No spoilers.
Yeah.
One thing that I think should be said about this for anybody, for the three people who are watching this and not having seen the movie yet, the trailers give no spoilers.
Yeah, I was impressed by that.
I mean,
that was good.
You get a general gist of the vibe.
Yep.
You get a general gist of the vibe, but you do not get anything where it's like, okay, this is predictable. There are some like jump scary type parts. Sure. There's some parts that feel genuinely terrifying.
Yeah.
And there are some parts where you're laughing more than you thought you would be. But I think that in general, you're going to have a good time if you just you try to pay attention to the movie itself.
Yeah.
And you listen to the radio broadcasts that are going on in the background. All of the other things that you don't think may be connected. Just pay attention to all of it, and I think you're going to have a good time.
I will say, I mean, I'm not a huge horror fan over the years.
Same.
I like some, but I'm not way into it. Some people, that's like their whole thing.
Sure.
Horror movies.
That's their personality.
His whole thing is horror movies.
Yeah.
That's true, actually.
But I was never a guy that just loved horror. And I'm also not a big fan of jump scares because I'm a fraidy cat. But this movie does something so great. It takes those moments when you think there's going to be a jump scare, and it's like, oh, I'm being set up for like a jump, and then they do something. He does something else with it. Yes. He does one time he does something so slow. You're expecting a rapid whatever, and it's slow. You're like, damn, that's almost more powerful.
Exactly.
And then he defuses it entirely a second later.
Well, to jump off the trailer was so good that I was like afraid that they had like revealed too much. I was like, oh, they've had to have revealed some stuff because like this already looks so good. Right. But yeah, I was surprised that they hadn't done that. So yeah,
especially since it was like a Super Bowl trailer. You know, it was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
this is like Avengers Endgame money. These niggas are. Sorry, I can't say
Is he
niggas
getting-
on the podcast.
is he
No
getting-
niggas gonna get
yes,
offended.
you can.
like did he get
I
his
can say
third
niggas.
movie?
Clarence,
What?
Clarence, tell the audience why you can say that word. if they're listening and not watching on YouTube.
Nigga, y'all can tell exactly why I can say this word. I don't even have to fucking front about it. Y'all can tell exactly why I can. My wife's gonna see
You're
this.
gonna make my you're gonna make my Alexa freak out like last time. Last time
Alexa.
he was on. Last time he was on the pod, he said the N-word and the Alexa started playing like kids music.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Does
Yeah.
that trigger it?
I don't know idea.
It actually niggers it.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't know what effect that word has on it because it's never heard it in this house.
Yeah.
Is it one of the ones that are made out of black plastic? Because
I think I have a redhead
Check.
one.
a redheaded Alexa. Can't wait for that album from Nick Tozzo. But
So
getting back on track.
getting back to Nope.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of cool stuff and really interesting. The intro first thing you see, or not the very first thing, but shout out to Keith David for being in this movie not long enough. I wish he was in it.
Yeah, could you actually remind me who that is?
The dad.
That might be
The dad. Okay.
That might be a light spoiler right there.
No,
though.
that's not a spoiler. It happens 4 minutes into
okay.
the movie.
All right.
It happens
That nigga
immediately.
dies.
That's the setup to the movie. That's where our character OJ, hilarious name.
And they only use that joke once.
Well, because
That's
didn't
the
even
thing.
notice
we
it.
can't just keep going back to it, and he's only around white people once.
A very well. That's a spoiler. Otherwise,
Is he gonna see more white people?
Yeah. No, he's only around unfamiliar white people once because he knows. Well, he knows Stephen Ewan, who's Asian, but you know what I mean.
Eastern
Sounds
white.
And the electronics employee that becomes their friend later. That's, there's no
South American white.
There's no need to go through. American. There's no need to go through
It's
that.
all white.
You don't need to make the joke more than once. How many times? It's not Police Academy. But so he's. Let's do a little bit of setup. We've got a brother and a sister.
A brother.
That's what I thought you meant.
We have a brother and a sister.
Yeah.
And they are
Whoa.
raised on the horse training farm, animal training farm, horse training farm.
A farm that raises
Ranch.
Hollywood.
horses
Yeah.
for like show business.
Show
purposes.
business horses.
Show business horses, my old
And
college
the
nickname.
old man who is actually knows what the fuck is going on, he dies early on. Mysterious circumstances.
Yeah.
And now his eldest son, OJ, is forced to take over the business. And this fucking guy has no swagger. He's got no sauce.
Yeah.
He's timid. He's nervous. He can't make eye contact with people on set. He can't speak up and give he's just a timid guy. And I was so bummed out. I was like, I don't want to watch this guy for 2 hours. I hate that kind of. Dude.
Yeah. He's just quiet.
Yeah, and then so that's Daniel Coolin?
Daniel Kaluuya.
Kaluuya.
Yeah, he's a British-born actor. Man, I gotta say, I gotta plug it real quick. That Hot Ones episode with him,
It was really good.
that is what's so good about that. That's how he's actually acting.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting here and watching him just do this kind of
Yeah.
stare off to the side sort of thing. But when he's actually himself, he's nothing like that. And that's what makes a good actor.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me.
I didn't even know he was British. I was like, he's British?
Exactly.
I was like totally stunned.
He does like that, the African accent that we were talking about. Nick has a problem with Africans.
No, we don't. we were not joking about that. We were not talking about that. I'm fine with it.
But no, like you know how we were talking about that. Yeah, that old thing. He can do that. He can do American. He can do his normal native British accent. I do like him a lot, and I think I want to talk about that more in the spoiler section.
He is a great actor. That's the thing. Is like as much as I don't like characters like that, or certainly not real people like that, the fact that he's pulling that off is like I've seen this guy on screen for 4 seconds and I'm already like feeling something.
Sure.
There you go.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And then even better, this is about to be the biggest compliment I've given it to anybody on this show ever. We see
Stay tuned,
we
Joe.
see the sister Kiki Palmer playing Emerald, M. She shows up and she is the fast talking
wisecracking
attitude. She's the face of the company now, and she's infuriating. Here's the performance I'm going to compare it to. Anybody that knows me knows this is the highest compliment.
Timothy Chalamet.
Nope.
The one where he fucked a peach.
I've got one better. Ida Turturro as Janice Soprano in The Sopranos.
Oh yeah, you hate her for the right reasons.
I've never seen an actor. I've never had an actor more viscerally affect me in my entire goddamn life of how much I hate this person. Ida Turturro is an all-time great performance.
Do you hate?
Soprano.
Is it all women that you don't like, or is it just specifically
Rosie O'Donnell?
Rosie O'Donnell.
No, I mean yes, but it's but Ida Turturro is a great performance. Ida Turturro is great, and I love her. I mean, I love to hate her character.
Yes.
I also hate the wife on Breaking Bad, but that's not for cool. I don't respect her like I respect Ida Turturro.
Sure.
I don't think she does. I think that character is just shitty. But Janice Soprano is like I've never hated somebody more, and that's a testament to how great she is.
Sure.
And Kiki Palmer's performance is, I mean, it's very similar. She shares a lot of similarities to like the Janice Soprano, the deadbeat sister who, you know, makes a bunch of excuses and is kind of a mooch and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Very similar to that Janice Soprano archetype, and it's like I immediately feel this like, oh my god, she's so irritating.
Like you said, visceral.
Yeah, you just feel it. You can't help it.
One person that this reminded me of, and I'm not sure how. I don't know what the target demographic for this podcast is, but I'm sure it doesn't.
South Asian.
South Asia, for sure.
I got 10,000 hits on my one hit movie in Telugu.
And hey, we love y'all.
Yeah.
Please keep watching.
No, absolutely.
Please keep doing it. Like, comment, and subscribe.
There's more.
Smash that motherfucking bell icon.
Yeah.
All of it.
There's more coming soon, I promise.
We're going to be coming soon. Never mind. Not about that.
I'm going to be talking.
No. What I wanted to say is that demographic of, like people who watch this podcast and people who would have seen the movie by John Singleton called Baby Boy is probably a small Venn diagram.
Baby Boy?
Baby Boy. It had Tyrese, Snoop Dogg, and Taraji P. Henson.
Oh, I've heard of that.
She plays a character that isn't necessarily sympathetic at every turn. Like she's got a hard life, but she's also making decisions actively that make her life harder.
This is Kiki Palmer again?
This is like Taraji P. Henson's version of that.
Oh, I see.
I'm drawing a parallel here.
Got it.
I've just never been a great artist.
I drew a parallel to Janice Soprano of The Sopranos, the most popular sitcom
Y'all
of all
want me
time.
to do one?
The most popular, and you're picking the third female lead from Baby Boy.
Behind anything from the Madea franchise. And
yeah, Jimmy, why don't you see if you can beat
Spy
Clarence
Kids.
in the
Spy
obscurity
Kids.
race?
The sister. She's ambitious. She has a brother.
An 8-year-old girl?
Yeah, listen, hear me out.
No.
Guys, we have to end this podcast and turn it over to the FBI.
You know, I'm just saying, maybe there's some similarities that you should think about.
I mean, I've never seen Spy Kids.
Exactly.
Although, shout out Robert Rodriguez, fellow Austinite.
Yeah.
Fellow Austinite.
Let's
has
hang-
one of the largest
bud.
Let's hang out.
Hit us up.
has one of the largest movie studios in the city, as far as
He's
I know.
never called
I
me.
think he has the largest. I've been there a couple times.
Really?
Yeah, for cool shit.
Let's go take me and Clarence.
Yeah, and
Next
hey,
time.
I think you actually
Sure.
dropped this name. Here, let me just go ahead and give that right back to you. Just
and then give it to us.
Yeah.
Back to us.
Actually, I do know a guy that knows him really well.
I know this
We're,
guy.
we're doing the podcast in that studio next time.
Yeah,
know
we're,
this guy
we're
who
doing
set
it
the-
from the Alita Battle Angel soundstage next time.
Oh,
From Alita Battle Angel Studios in Robert Rodriguez, Texas.
We're gonna-
It's
We're gonna have to leave.
Robert Rodriguez.
We're gonna have to leave the Let's Get Trash Studios at the top of the Chrysler Building in New York City.
that's
Yeah.
where and
Rent
that's
is
where we are right
due.
now.
it's
We're
so
getting
hard
evicted.
to get up here too.
Okay, so we have a little bit about our characters.
Right.
They're struggling. Dad's dead. Brother and sister running the horse farm. No, sister's not running the horse farm. She's
in and out.
She's around when it's convenient for her, and he's caught, and he's the one trying to do all the work. But he
Maintaining
he
the
doesn't
legacy.
have the sauce to do the actual
the money.
business part. Yeah.
It's failing.
Yep.
And so part of that, the money thing that
Yeah.
you, Captain Segway, right there, that's where Stephen Yeun's character comes in.
Yeah.
And he's a former child star
Former child star.
who's purchasing horses. And not a lot of horses in that.
He's got. This is out all that. This is at it's all in California. It's outside of L.A. Same kind of place like the Spawn Ranch where in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where Brad Pitt went to go fight
Charlie Manson.
Yeah, where Charlie Manson's group was holed up.
Spoilers for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
This is that same area. So this is the horse ranch, and then there's the Jupiter Gulch or whatever the Jupiter mine, and which is run by this former child star, career cut short by a terrifying chimpanzee. And I will say, I was thinking this watching the movie because it's the first thing we see is a animal stunt gone wrong on set. And I know conventional wisdom says that chimpanzees have the strength of 10 men. I'm here to say, I honestly think I could take one.
Really?
I think.
How would you bring one down?
just easily?
Sure will.
Just would, like a fucking boss would, like with no problem.
Like
That's how
punching?
just-
how does it happen in your mind?
the Segway segment.
easily. That's how it
Easily
happens.
isn't how a thing.
I
Do you have a
know.
sword?
I know, but I think I could just fucking
Barehanded and
I
completely
don't-
buck-ass
I don't
naked.
think you-
Could you do it?
I know the
No
science.
weaponry.
Science says I couldn't.
Yeah.
But I genuinely.
Do you want to? Do you think about killing? How often do you think about killing animals?
Whenever I
Were you lying then or are you lying
animals
now?
or every time I see a chimpanzee, I'm like, I could fucking take him. I know it. I know it. I know you're not supposed to say that.
Well, you're not supposed to say
But
it. I don't know if
I
that's
The
could-
way that you're saying it makes it sound like you actively put yourself
Like-
in situations to where you're going to be near chimpanzees and like.
I
When's
haven't-
the last time you were you with a
I have-
chimpanzee in the last 7 days?
No, I haven't hung out with a chimpanzee in blue moon.
Dude,
Okay.
I think that,
But I just
with all due respect, I think you'd be fucked. I got to be honest with you.
How you feel about
I
a
just
gorilla?
don't see it. Gorillas are enormous.
Okay. I'm just trying to see where the line is.
I don't know.
How about a bonobo?
How about an ostrich?
I could
I could do
probably,
that. Yeah,
I could.
I
I
could do
think I
that.
could take an ostrich.
I
if
could do that easy.
if I had the
Okay.
gumption.
Yeah.
Although they are fast and they do have really sharp claws.
Yeah, but you know what? There's
On their big-ass feet.
There's a girl on TikTok that has an ostrich that she just puts her. He attacks her every day, and she puts her hand up. It's fine. I could fucking
Well,
do that
nigga,
too.
people been doing like crocodile training down in, or sorry, alligator training down in like Florida forever, where they put their head in alligators' hand, like heads and
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't believe in that. I don't think reptiles can be trained.
No, definitely not.
That they don't.
They can be made to
cold
listen
blood.
to you.
They can't learn empathy.
Compassion.
Yeah, they can't learn to not eat you.
Yeah.
They don't have that ability.
Hashtag reptiles aren't higher beings. I'm just gonna say it.
I feel like I didn't want to destroy. I didn't want to derail the podcast, but if you're a chimp out there watching this, and I know that you're there, I know that you're there.
Watching this.
I could fucking don't even start with me. That's all I want to say. Is just don't fucking bring the heat, and we won't have a problem. But I swear to God, I could fucking do it.
I feel like you watched what is it, like War of the Apes, and you were like, humanity's gonna win next time.
Oh yeah, the new which one? The
newest one.
That's James Franco Planet of the Apes.
That's going to be our next series, is watching through all of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
I did
movies.
watch the first one, and I do have a big problem with actually the end of the first
They
one.
could have just taken
I think
them.
that we're mining
We'll
for
do
content now.
No, we're not. But we'll do a quick. This is a quick diversion. This is the. This is the let's get trashed. Quick.
The quick and dirty.
The damn dirty apes corner, which is at the end of that first one when James Franco goes up to the and I apologize if I'm parodying too closely the Patrice O'Neill, but shout out to him who turned me on to this. It's the entire movie is the chimpanzee Caesar like fucking destroying everybody and fucking everybody up, and he wins this war. He breaks out of jail, breaks all his friends out of jail. They're now free.
Yep.
And then he hangs out with James Franco one last time, and James Franco goes, "You are now free." And if I was the monkey, I'd be like,
I'm already free.
Fucking says you like I just killed 40 cops, asshole. I made myself free. You don't tell me I'm free in that patronizing voice, asshole.
Yeah.
That's what I.
What you're saying is James Franco should have taken him,
James Franco should have been like
taken him down.
James Franco instead of solemnly saying like you're free now, he should have said, "Damn, dude, you won your freedom. Congrats.
Yeah.
You did this all yourself, and I had nothing to do with it." Anyway,
It would be like if, like, at the end of women's suffrage and that whole movement, James Franco went up to
You can
some
vote.
woman and said, "You can vote."
James Franco went to Susan B. Anthony, was like, "You can vote
Exactly.
now." Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, I know. I actually went ahead and did that whole thing. That was actually what I was here for.
James Franco just patronizing fucking revolutionary leaders throughout history.
And if he wasn't so problematic,
Yeah,
you could make that fucking series.
James Franco at Gettysburg just being like,
You can have it.
"You're free now."
Yeah.
Oh no, James Franco on the Gettysburg Address, or the Emancipation.
That's true. I did confuse the whatever. This is not an American history podcast.
Yeah,
It's
no,
so
this is a
lame. I would
segue
never
on
do
top
that.
of
This is
another
Let's Get
segue.
Trash. All right, so
Yeah.
here's what we're gonna do. There's probably a few cuts to be made in the first part of this episode, but basically we have to get into spoilers, folks. We got to get into spoilers right away because we want to just fucking roll and talk some shit and have a good time. So at this point, if you are not interested in seeing spoilers, you're gonna skip to 55 minutes and 9 seconds. Okay, skip to that point in the video. I just did a voiceover and told you exactly the time. And also, don't let that bottle go too far. And now we're in our spoiler section. All right?
Spoilers.
Somebody go. Give me some spoilers.
All right. My favorite. Can I just get into my favorite visual scene?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think we're probably going to have the same one.
I
Ooh,
hope
if all
there's
three of us
such a
have the
good
same
one.
If all three of us have it, that's awesome.
When the creature is over the house and blood is coming down all over the house, just that moment, I was just like blown the fuck away. I was just like, this is the coolest moment in cinema for me in a theater, maybe ever. I just thought it was so creative and fucking like metal looking.
Okay, that is not the one that I had.
But
I got to be honest.
it's kind of at the same time.
It's around the same
But-
time.
So you're right. And let's talk about how great the cinematography is. There are some
so
really
nice.
beautiful shots. I've never seen a Jordan Peele
So
movie till
good.
today. It is very well done. And the thing Clarence and I talked about this last night, but he's going to explain this better than I can. But this fact that it is the best. I don't know how to say this. You say it. You say how a black director can make black people look good on camera.
It. Wait, what? The movie It?
Dad jokes, motherfucker.
No, I said
No.
say it, and he was like,
Oh, I see. I was like, well,
I'm a real piece of shit. Which is half composed of it. Anyway, here's what it is. Most film is maybe not intentionally, maybe intentionally directed towards making people of fair skin look good. And having an not all, but like a primarily black cast, especially somebody with the complexion of Daniel Kaluuya, who's a very dark man with light eyes and very good-looking teeth. That's the definition of eyes and teeth, so that you can be seen in the dark.
I don't know that term, but I'm not going to stop you. Go
That's
ahead.
something that I guarantee you a lot of your two black listeners have heard before in their lives. But the
Eyes and teeth, huh?
Eyes
Okay.
and teeth, yeah, because
I understand it. I've not heard that before, but that is
yeah, I say it kind of jokingly, but it is something that does happen.
Right.
Every black person, or at least I'd say a vast majority of black people, have had the experience of not being seen in a darker photo because they're not showing their teeth or whatever.
Google had a whole fucking ad campaign, which at the time, I mean, maybe it still is, but I thought it was crazy. I mean, Google did an entire ad campaign of commercials talking about our new Google phone. This phone can take pictures of black people.
Really?
Yeah. And I was blown away that I was like, why are they advertising
One
this?
of you guys please link that commercial down in the comments.
I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in now. But yeah, Google being like, you should buy the new Google Pixel 8 or whatever their phone is called. The new Google phone. This one can take pictures of black people. And I was like, I have plenty of photos in my iPhone that are fine of me and Clarence. Or
Just Clarence sleeping or Clarence just doing anything. Just photos of
Clarence in a very dark backstage. I don't know. He's there.
I have tons of surveillance photos of Clarence.
Clarence.
No,
walking around.
But
In his home.
the fact that they, and I was like, that's wild that they would go out of their way to like even mention that. But
well, that's the thing. There have been dissertations written about this, and I don't think that I'm off base there. I think that's an actual fact. And seeing that used to a good effect in this movie, to where, and this is where it comes back to our favorite.
Our favorite scenes.
Our favorite scene. One of the ones that he and I spoke about, that Nick and I spoke about, was that that one scene where the truck stopped. Daniel Kaluuya's in the truck after the house is being rained on.
Yep.
And he's looking out, and then he kind of opens the door, and that crease lets a little light onto his face.
Yeah.
Before that, it's all just dark. He's all just part of the scene. And think about it, like in other movies, other horror movies, that would be part of the terror.
Well, any other movie with a black actor on the screen at that moment, it would have overlit it. It would have been they would have lit it bright enough to where you can see everything, but he looks washed out and bright. It would have been too bright because they're trying to capture everything, and then that would have taken you out of like the scariness of this moment.
Sure.
But Jordan Peele lets Daniel Kaluuya live.
We're gonna get it right. We'll overdub.
lets him just stay in the dark, and he does a lot of acting with his eyes, which is incredible. We can see him looking around. We can see the whites of his eyes as he's darting around looking for something, and then like Clarence mentioned, as he reaches out, it's just one of the most beautiful sequences I think I've ever seen. It's really, really cool.
So that was your favorite as well?
Yeah, we talked. It was the first thing we talked about when we got back to the parking lot.
Yeah.
I've never really thought about that aspect at all, as far as like complexion and like how it like I guess transfers on screen. I didn't have a problem seeing him in that moment. Like, are you saying that like the lighting was really well in this film, or just how they like shot it?
I think that the sensibility of a black director shooting black actors made it to where it was equally as compelling as had it been. And I don't know. I don't want it to sound like a white director couldn't have shot that right.
But that's not maybe as common. Or as like
it was
I see what you're saying.
refreshing to see that somebody did that.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's cool. But so let's talk about kind of what's going on, because we're thinking, like, we are led to believe early on that it is aliens. There's UFOs.
Yeah.
This is a spaceship.
That's what I thought it was.
That's what they told us it was.
Sure.
That's what I'm with the characters in the film. We all thought it was that. And then there ends up being a so our characters, they think they're seeing a UFO. They try to get good footage. They're on tough financial times. They have to sell some horses to Stephen Ewan's ranch.
Old Jupe.
Yep. One of those places where you go, you get yourself an old timey photo. You fake pan for gold. He's got one of those types of outfits.
Right on.
And so they're doing all that, selling horses, but they want to buy them back eventually. And Jupiter gives him it's like, I don't know if that's going to be possible.
Yeah, I noticed that. There's a lot of things that I noticed but didn't fully notice, like subconsciously noticed, that later I'm like, oh, that's why. There were so many of those ties like during the movie, I guess, of just like,
that's why I said, like, listen to the radio broadcasts that are going on during
all the
opening
details.
credits.
Yeah,
All of the credits.
There's very few things that aren't relevant in this film. It's little things that you think it's just a set piece or it's just a moment. It might turn out to be important later. Very, very cool. Very smartly done. Super fun. And then they're selling horses. I will say, here's one little thing where the kind of reality breaks down. It turns out, and this is, again, we're in spoilers, folks, so don't come for me. It's not UFOs. It's not UFOs making weird shit happen in this area of California. It is an alien, but it's an animal.
Yeah.
It's an alien creature that lives up in the sky and is eating shit.
It lives in a cloud nest.
He lives in a cloud. He disguises himself with the cloud.
That shit is so creative, man. That it was never a ship. It's a creature. Like, I was blown away by like just the creativity of that alone.
And I'll say this right now, the design at the end of it, this is not a spoiler. There's no way I'm going to be able to describe like the full final form of that. I think that was one of the most creative designs for like an otherworldly terror.
Yeah.
As they could have done.
My friend described this movie like at its essence, it's a creature feature. And I'm like, oh, it is.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
Yep.
Or this is like,
it's a kaiju movie.
Yes.
Almost.
Yeah. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. That's a really good way to put this. Like, and it has all the tropes, but it's Jordan Peele, and it has, but like in the like. Then another friend said, and I should give them credit, like that nothing, like you mentioned, that nothing was wasted. Like the detail of everything that you think is like just kind of a pass away thing, and you forget about immediately, is like used in like just the coolest fucking way. I was just blown away.
Yeah, it was really well thought out and really insightful. I particularly really enjoyed this film. I will say one little breakdown that I had of like just kind of internal logic. So, Jupiter's Gulch, Stephen Yeun has been buying horses.
Yep.
That he found out about the alien 6 months ago.
Yeah.
He was on the alien right away for somehow. We don't know this until much later, but he figured it out. And rather than trying to get any footage or rather than trying to go viral with it, like our two protagonists, Emmy and OJ, he is just doing a show.
That's a roadside attraction.
He's doing a roadside attraction.
Yeah.
He's feeding this monster horses after he lets his kids do a dance and they do a lasso shit. They do all kinds of nonsense. Once a week, he feeds a horse. He buys a horse. We see him buy a horse for $11,500.
Yeah.
He spends $11,500 on this.
I see what you're saying.
On a show horse, a Hollywood show horse.
Yeah, trained horse.
He spends $11,500 on it. He says, "I've been doing this for 6 months," and he says it. That when it goes wrong horribly, and him and his entire audience are fucking devoured.
Yep.
And the police report goes,
that's the blood on the house that we were talking
yeah,
about.
Yes.
The police report goes, 40 people are missing from Jupiter's Gulch. We got to figure this out.
Whoops.
And then it's like 40 people, him, his wife, his 3 kids, and then their staff of 15. That means we've got 27 people.
Yeah.
27 people bought tickets to see an $11,000 horse get eaten. That doesn't make sense.
Well, I think that was his first showing.
Well, the tickets were each also $11,000. Yeah. So
You figured it out.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I didn't catch. I missed that detail.
There was a part with the receipts in the invoices.
Here's something that maybe you have. So Emerald asked OJ, how many horses have you sold?
He said 10.
He said 10. I think this was his first bout of like, let's try it out. Let's try and get it was almost like a test audience. That's the vibe I got.
I don't think so, because
that seemed clear to me.
Even if it was, that's still a fuck ton of money that you
For a
invested
horse.
in horses
I think
you didn't have people watch.
That's true. Yeah.
I think the point was that he's been doing the show for 10 weeks. Because don't forget, earlier in the film, OJ he's going after one of the horses, and he runs down and he sees all the lights coming from Jupiter's Gulch into the sky. He sees the show happening.
Yeah.
He sees the show happening the week before.
He just doesn't know it's a show, or like it's that.
He doesn't realize it's an alien thing. He thinks down in Jupiter's Gulch, my neighbors are doing some goofy kind of show that I don't know nothing about. Why would I?
Okay, I have another qualm.
Okay.
That's in the same realm.
The qualm corner.
The qualm.
This is the Let's Get Trashed Qualm Corner, folks.
Qualms only.
LGTQC.
Hey, LGT qualm. They said no cameras, folks. You would think like when they do the whole show, they're like, and all right, people, no camera. It's like, don't you think you would have taken the cameras before? Like you wouldn't have to say that. Like you would have already, if it was that.
Well, you know what? Even Bluebell Ice Cream does that. They take your. They used to back in the day. They'll take your fucking cameras
your
and be
phone
like,
and shit.
Yeah, well, back in the day when it was like disposable Kodak cameras. Yeah.
Well, we're all missing. You're missing the forest for the trees, gentlemen.
Yeah.
They don't have to confiscate anybody's cameras because when the monster
Yeah,
shows
oh,
up,
that's true.
Yeah,
the
that's
shit doesn't work.
Yeah,
That's why
that's
they had-
true. That's true.
And you guys are never going to believe how deep of a role wacky wailing, arm flailing, inflatable tube men play in this
Yeah.
movie.
So they are featured prominently in the trailer, and I love the way that they're incorporated in the movie.
It was absolutely lost on me until he spelled it out for me.
Oh, really?
Well,
Why they had them out there?
Exactly. Like
Sure.
I thought that it was, I didn't realize it was for that purpose. It's incredibly clever.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's
I don't even
really,
want to spoil that. We're not even going to spoil. It is so clever, and it's.
I think anybody who's reading through the lines right now will be able to tell what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, we already said spoilers.
Yeah, but I don't want to give away. We don't. There's a.
Give away all of it.
We don't have to give away all of it, but
Okay.
we are gonna admit, the spoilers or the big spoilers are that it's a
creature.
It's an alien monster. It's a creature and not a UFO, not a spaceship.
Yes.
Right.
So, do you guys have? I would say one of my favorite ties is the early version of. And if this is a spoiler, I guess we can cut out. But like the early use of the like photo booth. Well,
I did like that.
I loved it. That's what we talked about earlier. That's one of those little passing moments. It's just a set piece. It's just an interesting thing that becomes important.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just a cool little moment. That thing. This amusement park attraction. Becoming something bigger later on.
Yeah, it would be like them using one of those like smashed penny machines at SeaWorld or something to get actual photographic proof of extraterrestrial life.
Yeah, that's insane.
One thing that I did like, and this is something that I think a lot of people will have mixed feelings about, it's the entire chimp thing. The entire thing there, because I think that plays a lot into why Stephen Yeun's character felt the way he felt about the alien predator ship
Yeah,
thing.
that's a really good point. I thought that was quite a bit of a side story for a character that doesn't get as developed or is just this huge base of trauma that doesn't really show
Exactly.
other than the show that he's putting on.
And
I guess it makes sense, but yeah, I didn't think about that, like why he's like...
he was like a lone survivor from that whole ordeal, right? And so for him, yes, it was traumatic. Yes, it was all of that, but he still feels like even though he was going to get that fist bump from, like even though his chimp co-star killed all those people, he was still going to get that fist bump. And I took it as kind of him thinking, okay, well, I still have some sort of protection from the nature of a beast.
Yeah.
And that hubris is what ended up doing him in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's very interesting.
Didn't see it that way. I didn't see it that way.
That's
But
why I missed all the other shit I missed.
That's really
I think in a film like this,
an interesting way to
everything
look at it.
matters. Every gesture matters, right? Like, I like that takeaway.
that is a great. Yeah, that is a really insightful interpretation of it. I was thinking. Because the idea of it is that the chimpanzee story is a flashback past story. The horse story is kind of going on now, and then the alien story is kind of going on now, obviously, or the creature story. And so the idea, one thing I have in my notes is that back when I thought it was aliens, I was like, oh, the aliens are just PETA. It's just they're coming down. Anybody that's hurting animals in Hollywood, instead of they're done throwing red paint on your fur coat, they're fucking eating you with a
We're gonna
spaceship.
develop dynamic propulsion.
Yeah.
And fucking devour your.
What are we going to do with all this money?
Yeah.
And fuck PETA.
So, but that
we don't
is,
fuck with PETA.
that is the through line is how do we do we respect, are we treating animals the right way? How do we our relationship with these animals that we're supposedly working with? Or how do we get one of these things?
You make them CGI, and you put blood on them.
They definitely did do a CGI version of that horse in the beginning as well.
Well,
Yeah.
that was diegetic in the film. The horse freaks out because of it sees its own reflection and kicks a woman and kicks something out of her hand, which is hilarious. But also the chimpanzee freaks out. It's all about eye contact. It's all about not engaging a predator. But that's kind of our through line is
every animal has rules.
How do we treat animals? How do we coexist with animals?
I didn't really think about that, but it did seem like OJ's like instinctive element of like maybe bonding with the horses gave him some insight to like the creature that they were like against.
Right,
and just his alpha or just like sensitivity to like maybe like a predator or an apex predator type being. I thought was like really interesting. But
yeah, I mean OJ's certainly not an alpha. I mean, the real OJ is absolutely. Shout out, Orenthal James Simpson.
Yo, shout out, like and subscribe for that murder.
He's like the quiet, observative type. That's the rancher, and
he's
cares
not,
about the horses.
He's almost he won't make eye contact with a horse because he's almost subservient to the horses.
Yeah,
he's like.
If I may be so bold, I think it's about empathy. He's the one who says it's not a ship. It's a predator.
Yeah.
And it's an animal, and every animal has rules.
Yeah.
It's because he
noticed. Yeah, because he said it's territorial.
Exactly.
He picked up on that.
He thinks this is its place. This is its land. And so what would you do as an animal? That's empathy right there. Understanding that something else is like you and acting on that knowledge.
Has boundaries or has rules. Yeah.
Exactly. Because he understands that about horses. You can't just, well, he actually says it. He's like, anything with a spirit can be broken.
Yep. That was a good line.
Yep.
Damn, I want to see this movie again.
Yeah,
I absolutely want to. I'm
gonna watch the other two Jordan Peele movies after this.
Dude,
I never avoided. I wasn't trying not to watch them. I just never saw them. But they're on my list.
This gives you faith.
Well, no, not even that. They're just on. They've always been on my list, but I've moved them up to the front of my list of things I'm gonna watch soon because of how well done this was.
Yeah, I think that he does a really good job of being insightful, and I think that it speaks to the broader thing that. Dramatic actors can't always be funny, but comedic actors can often understand what it is to be dramatic or to give weight to a situation, because that's all comedy is. You're building weight, you're building tension, and then you break it.
Yeah. So, but one thing we got a few notes here. One is that if you are going to see aliens or an alien creature, you have to get like an interesting job, man. They're not going to come to your cubicle where you send emails all day.
Don't be a cook.
Yeah, they're not coming to the school you teach at. They're not coming to your logistics company. You got to be out. You got to be out.
A sales job, dude.
You got to be out doing horsey shit out in the woods, or you got to be somewhere interesting for aliens to show up.
I was an accountant, and the aliens came for my spreadsheets.
Yeah, they're not exactly.
I couldn't defeat him.
They're not
shit.
Yeah, they're not coming to whatever corporation you work at.
You got to be a cool musician in Austin, Texas.
Well, you just got to be outside. You got to do some outdoor.
You got to be
shit.
out. You just have to be outside.
Can I ask? Have either of you guys ever seen any like unexplainable alien shit? I don't mean for this to go there.
No, that's a really good question.
I wanted to ask.
My friends claim that we saw something, but I think it was just a drone, and like they didn't know about drones yet. I will say that we saw like some sort of a light that I would call a drone, but then like 2 years later, I heard a drone, and they're noisy as fuck. So
they do sound like a bunch of bees,
or like weed eaters, or just like wee. It's like very like annoying. So I don't know that was really an explainable thing, but I don't know. I wouldn't call it an alien.
Every action I've ever seen that is completely inexplicable was committed by a woman.
Yeah, your ex,
to
be specific.
God, right? Oh man.
So
this guy just murdered.
I know who did it.
Half of
but that doesn't mean it can be explained at fucking all.
Well,
I know who's behind it.
Aren't
easily.
women just aliens?
Women are from Venus.
Yeah,
Men are from Mars.
Men are from right here.
Well, men actually we went to college to get more knowledge.
Yeah. We went
And whereas women went to Jupiter to, of course.
Oh my God. Learn how to vote.
Here's the
Susan B. Anthony. Name dropping Susan B. Anthony in this whole fucking podcast today.
Here's the other thing. So that same scene we mentioned earlier, blood on the house.
Yeah.
Right.
A couple things made me laugh about that. See, it's very dramatic. It's very well done, but it's like Keke Palmer and I don't know the kid's name, Daniel something. Oh, he's whatever. The Fry's electronics store guy.
I know his name in the movie is Angel. I believe.
Yeah. So
Angel.
So
yeah.
Emerald and Angel are in the house, and they're both thinking they're about to die, and so. I told Clarence this last night, but wouldn't it be funny if he was like, "Before we die, please, can I just say it one time? just let me say it.
Should we?
No. Just say it.
Let me say it. He doesn't even
say it.
He doesn't
You know
even
what
want to
I'm
have
saying?
sex.
Just
I'm about to die.
Just let me say it once.
Yeah.
Listen, I could be doing a lot of things right now, but
And then the other thing.
I never wanted to work at Fry's.
And then the other thing is like the next day when they hire a cinematographer to get video of their to get film of their great
The most
plan.
intense guy.
Yeah.
the guy
But that guy's
literally
good.
who was the main villain in The Crow.
Are you serious?
Straight up, 100%.
Oh, that's beautiful.
100%.
Did
Look
he
it
use
up.
the same voice? Like kind of
That's
just
actually just his motherfucking voice.
Damn.
They had a lot of good epic voices between him
I
and Keith
love
David.
a good epic voice,
Dude, like Keith David is the one who's doing all of this.
Keith
Yeah.
David,
He's the one.
Keith David's a great voice guy.
Yeah. But anyway, as you were saying,
well,
before they hire
he shows up to the house for his first like, all right, I'll agree to work with you. And then he goes, there's a wheelchair on top of your house. And nobody in the cast is like, yeah, the house is also covered in blood. The fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like,
Did you think we just redecorated and forgot the wheelchair up there?
Okay, I have a question. So when she was talking to him originally, and she said that she was trying to capture the impossible, did you guys pick up that maybe he thought, oh, you're trying to catch an alien? I've tried this before, and I can't do it.
I don't know. I
actually, that didn't cross my mind.
That
I'll be
caught
honest
my
with you.
mind
It did.
a little bit. Like, I think he knows what she's talking about, and he's like, that's a dragon you'll never catch. Like,
That
I
would
kind
make
of get
his
that
last
vibe.
action make sense.
It didn't. But I didn't like that.
You didn't like...
Well, I didn't like that this supposed shorthand between a woman who's never done anything and the most celebrated cinematographer in Hollywood.
Okay.
I didn't like that.
I see what you're saying.
That she goes the impossible shot, which means nothing, and then he goes, "Oh my god, I know exactly what you mean. Don't even try for it."
At least he didn't. At least she didn't say that Oprah shot, right? And then he go Oprah shot, and then go with that.
Well, she should have been like,
whatever.
She should have been like, we think there's aliens out here and we want your help. And he could have been like, that's fucking stupid. There's no aliens, obviously, and no, we're not. I'm not gonna fuck with it.
Yeah.
And then, and this did happen, but 3 days later, he's watching the news. He says, the neighborhood of the girl you spoke with on the phone yesterday, 40 people disappeared, and we have no idea where they went, and I think it's floods, but it might be something else. And then he goes, "Oh shit, maybe it was aliens." They should have just said it. But the fact that the impossible.
I think he knew.
The fact that they both like had this cryptic understanding, it's trying to make a moment too dramatic. I think.
Yeah.
I didn't particularly like that.
I will say,
writing choice.
I think about sound a lot. My favorite thing about anything horror is the sounds and just like the weird sound design and shit. I just think it's so like interesting and fucking cool. Their dialogue was always sounded so fucking good. Like if they were in the house or whatever, like just the use of the way that they use like tonality on their voices, like, and even the way they used the cinematography guy's voice was just loud and crazy and strange, like over the phone, and just like they used like voice. I don't know, like art like really well in this, but
they really did.
It's a very subliminal thing, but
they really did a good job of soundscaping, even in the theater that we were in, which was kind of like a smaller, quote unquote, I'm doing quotes, theater. You had like sounds that were coming from a distinctive corner of the room.
Oh shit, nice.
You know, you had, at least I noticed that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that.
For sure.
The score was even like where it was minimal, it was what was needed.
I would say I don't
And it was
remember the
centered.
score at all because it was so good. Like
That's
it
exactly
was,
it.
It's like it was so well done. I don't even fucking remember it or like couldn't pick it out. You
Of
know?
course not, no.
It was just like holy fuck. Like I was in. Like my emotions were like like holding hands with that score. Like it was dragging me through that motherfucker.
No, they did a great job of. I mean, again, it's all just tension and release, and it happens so well done. I mentioned earlier in the non-spoiler section of the pod where I was expecting a jump scare the first time he sees aliens in his barn.
Yeah,
and it turns out to be kids.
Yep,
but you think they're going to be popping around the corner or scaring something, and then he's at that moment, and he's like, where is it? He's got his phone out, and then one of them slowly moves its head around, and it's fucking like that slowness. This is before you realize it's kids playing a prank, but that slowness is like, wow.
Yeah.
So really, really cool.
Real quick, one thing that I did read about this.
This is our last in spoiler thing. So.
Okay, all right. One thing that I did read about this was the rant, not the rant, but the monologue that Keke Palmer did when they're like on the green screen with the horse and
early on, yeah,
early
that she
on
learned from their dad.
Yeah, she did that 17 times, each one so different that they couldn't cut it together.
Oh wow. They had to just pick one.
They had to just go with one.
Yeah.
Dang. And they said that really informed her character. It actually wasn't even necessarily in the script that way.
Wow, that's freaking dope.
Really
interesting.
Cool.
Well, they if that's the case, then they redid it with Keith David. Because don't forget, there's a scene later on where she pops in the VHS of her dad like
doing that.
Yeah.
And he's saying the same lines.
Holy shit,
I would
that's wild.
100% believe that.
So
100%
so
believe
that's
that.
They wrote that scene after they got
sick.
her take of her saying that.
And even though Keith
that's so
David
fucking
is in
interesting.
this movie for like 3 fucking minutes and he's dead for like 100 seconds of that, he still is like, it's like, oh man,
Yeah,
that guy brings a gravitas.
Yeah, I love that dude. So we are out of spoilers. We are about to wrap this up.
There are no spoilers.
Couple quick things. Very happy. Jordan Peele, thank you so much. No post-credits scene.
I
love you for doing
What
it.
do you mean by that? Like rolling credits, or what are you talking about?
I mean, I don't have to sit around in the middle of the credits.
Like a Marvel thing.
Yeah, like
sure. Okay, I see.
No Marvel shit, which I hate. Well documented on this podcast.
And I do like that. I'm fine with it. Quick hot thought. But like I'm fine with it on like a Marvel movie where it's like the continuity is important, but they're not making like a Nope cinematic universe.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate about it. That's my thing.
Fair enough. The other thing is, great movie. I love the atmosphere. I love daytime horror shit.
Yeah, that's rare.
Midsummer is a goddamn masterpiece.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
By Ari Aster. Oh, it's incredible. He did Hereditary and he did Midsummer. They're both great. I like Midsummer more because it's visually more appealing. The fact that you can make something terrifyingly scary in broad daylight that's a rare talent. And Jordan Peele does that very well in this film. There's a lot of daytime scariness happening.
Yeah.
And
you guys make sure to catch my movie Student Debt. The movie.
The scariest movie.
It's gonna haunt you for years.
And then the other thing, so we know it's a movie. There's some sort of unexplained supernatural, possibly alien thing going on. The most unrealistic thing about this is that these two people are two main characters. They found an electronics store employee who gives a shit.
I wish I could find electronic.
I wish I could find a Fry's these days. Jesus.
Yeah.
It's all Altex and Micro Center these days.
They filmed this before Fry's went out of business.
Yeah. R.I.P. Fry's.
Yeah, but so too bad you couldn't hang on for another fucking year and a half. Fry's, you would have
brought y'all back.
You would have gotten a hell.
You
would have gotten a hell of a bump.
They would have.
The product placement, but either way, Fry's is gone. Fry's is gone because they only had one employee that gave a shit, and it's this kid Angel who's in the movie.
It's like, they sell alien tech? I didn't know they sold alien cameras.
What was that motherfucker doing there at the store at like 11:30 at night, just hanging out with that one lady?
Yeah.
That, you know what? Which that girl, that goth chick that he's like coworkers with, she's like the one of all we talked about, like little things that paid off. She's the one thing that
never came back.
She just never came back or wasn't a bigger part of the story. Everything else is like a little kernel that blooms or a seed that.
She is the alien.
You don't ever, you really don't ever see him in the same room twice. Now that you mention it.
Interesting.
Hey, goth chick, where's the alien? Oh, I'll go get him. And then the alien comes
She
back.
takes off her glasses.
Yeah.
She's the alien now.
Hey, alien, goth chick just went looking for you.
Oh,
Oh,
weird.
let me go get her.
Yeah.
It's wearing like a fries vest, like the alien creature, like a giant
Like
fries
it's getting
vest.
mixed up
Yeah.
between its
like,
identities.
let me morph.
Alien,
it
when
forgets to
did you get
change.
hair?
Yeah.
Oh, why? I don't know.
Oh, weird.
This is the
Ripping off-
stupidest part of the podcast.
Like,
We're ruining
like the
it. We're
alien-
ruining the
what's
movie.
his name? Like Roger from American Dad. He's
Yeah.
he's always changing costumes as he goes from place to place. He's just got glasses and a blonde hair wig.
oh,
I can't wait for
But he looks like a big gray head alien.
I can't wait for the alleged eventual YouTube videos of that, like the Nope ship, but it's Roger the alien
Yeah.
wearing the
Fries
fries girl
vest.
hair.
yeah, or there. Yeah.
Oh, I want that.
Eating
guys,
Cheetos.
Guys,
Yeah.
please smash that motherfucking like icon. Thank you.
So final thoughts. Let's do some recommendations. I'm going to start. I always go, longtime listeners to the pod will know, I'm a yes or no guy. And I say, absolutely, go see this movie if you're interested in this kind of stuff.
Yes.
If my mom and dad are watching, Dad, I guarantee you'll like it. My dad, when my dad loves the Twilight Zone, he's a big horror. He's a big, like, creepy.
I just said your dad's a big whore.
Horror.
Horror.
When the new Twilight Zone came out, Jordan Peele was in charge of the new Twilight Zone for a little bit. I think it got canceled because it wasn't that successful, but that's not my dad's fault because I think he watched every episode. He also likes the other.
I have been blaming your dad for. I was like, did Nick Dawson's dad watch this? Because like,
Yeah, thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah.
He gave it all the support I think he could, and then the same thing with that other HBO show, H.P. Lovecraft or whatever.
Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Jordan Peele as well.
No, get out of town.
I believe so.
Oh shit! All right.
I may be wrong about that. Not what you would call not an idiot, but I might be wrong about that.
Well, this kind of movie, if you're is Twilight Zone aficionados, right up your alley. Anyway, it's just well done and beautiful to see, so I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
Jimmy D, give us your thoughts.
My thoughts are definitely recommend. This is the kind of movie, and it's since Get Out, like Jordan Peele makes me like wonder, like, oh, do I like horror movies? Like he gets me into them, like he makes me interested in them because they're so good. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I was hoping that I would get something similar from like Get Out or Us, and yeah, this like blew that stuff away. Like I thought, as far as just like his writing consistency and just like what he brings, like I was honestly more excited for this film than I would say Top Gun or anything else. Like honestly, this year I was so excited.
Do you think, so before we get to your last thoughts, Clarence, as the only member of the pod who's seen Get Out and Us,
Yeah,
you've seen all three,
yeah.
what's the ranking? Where's this one on it?
This is number one.
Really?
For me, it is.
You put this over Get Out and Us.
I would say, yeah,
Okay.
probably.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think that might be an infrequently held opinion. I think Get Out is beloved. But
Infrequently held opinion should be another podcast we do. That's a good one.
All of our opinions.
Don't steal that.
Yeah.
that actually is that is a sick title.
I also I would say this may be a personal thing because I think aliens are terrifying. So for this one, I was like really sucked in.
Oh my
so
God.
it could just be like a me thing.
All right.
But yeah.
Clarence, tell us what do you think about the movie, and then we're going to spend the rest of the time grilling Jimmy on if he believes in aliens.
Yeah.
I think we know.
What are you, fucking space cuck?
Oh my God.
All right, no, my opinions on this movie. If I'm giving it the Nick treatment, yes,
Whatever you
go
want.
see it.
You can do it in numbers.
Oh no, I'm definitely going to. Don't worry, I've got a paragraph written out here. No, I think that you should go see this movie if you looked at the trailer and you thought, "What is that about?" You will not have a bad time figuring out what it's about. Will you fall in love with it? That remains to be seen, but I think that it's worth taking the chance to do so. I loved how original it was, how original it felt. As somebody who only goes to movie theaters these days, especially these past 2 years, I only go to movie theaters for like your big tent poles, mostly because that's how my wife likes to do things. I really thought this was worth seeing in a movie. I would have been happy to pay to see this in one of those movie theaters where you have the option of buying a fucking steak and a milkshake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I would have absolutely been happy to. I think this was an event of a movie.
All right.
More so than a lot of movies that have come out this year.
Oh, 100%. Or just in general in the past, well, I'm sure because of COVID, but
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
mean that even in terms of Marvel movies, like
yeah.
I just saw Thor a month ago, and don't get me wrong, yeah, okay, but I'd have rather paid the money I paid to go see Thor, see this movie with you.
100%.
I absolutely would.
I won't even see Thor. So
Exactly.
that's how much I agree with you.
And you know me, I'm a fan of those Marvel movies. I'm a fan of going to see that kind of stuff. There's only so many Marvel, Star Wars, all of that stuff. When you have something that's as original
Oh, yeah.
as this, something that focuses not on being different, but focuses on its own ideas and actually ends up as different, I think that is really what's important.
I do love the auteur filmmaker guys like, I mean, Jordan Peele is now. I'm gonna watch his other stuff, but this movie's so good. He's in that conversation of guys doing original stuff. He's in that conversation with Tarantino and Wes Anderson and Jordan.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
He's
100%.
He's a dude where his movies are an event.
Yeah.
He has taste.
He's got his style. You can recognize it. But when you hear, people don't even have to see what's it about. I don't care. I'm going to see the new Jordan Peele. He's transcended his own
Yes,
art.
I agree with
I
that.
don't care what the next Tarantino movie is. I'm gonna see it.
Yep.
Wes Anderson, same thing. Jordan Peele, same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not a ton of guys. I'm not going to see the next Spielberg thing.
Mm-hmm.
James Cameron, I'm not going to see Avatar 2.
Certainly not going to see the next James Cameron thing. But those guys are also trying to do different types of blockbusters. Jordan Peele's in that auteur conversation with Tarantino, Wes Anderson, fucking Safdie brothers. I don't know. They're not prolific enough. They've only had two.
The Daniels,
Yeah.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I think that's a
The
movie we should
Daniels,
probably
yeah, because
look at.
they did Swiss Army Man and Everything Everywhere. The Daniels are a good. I hate to put dorks in the conversation with cool guys, but that's a good point.
Well-
the Daniels might be there but those guys are gonna do some Marvel shit. They're gonna take the paycheck to do some Marvel shit first.
and that's fine.
Shit, I'm gonna cut that out.
1 minute, 5 minutes, 20 seconds.
Yeah, all right. I'll find it. I'll cut it out.
But no, seriously, like maybe not the Daniels, all right, but like people who are doing this really well done individualistic filmmaking.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember a movie called The Nice Guys?
Yeah,
With
yeah,
Russell
yeah.
Crowe and Ryan Gosling.
Certainly.
That is such a good movie, and it didn't get the play it needed to. You have, on paper, really, really good actors being directed by, I believe that was Shane Black. I'm not sure if it was or not, but you have a really good director directing really good actors, and it just didn't get the play that it should have because it came out in a sea of the middle of superhero genre,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so it got buried.
It was also a period piece comedy, which two things kind of go together. I mean,
Doesn't
there's
always.
There's not a lot of comedy coming out nowadays, and also period piece, putting something in the 70s again. That's trying to capitalize on the fourth guy in this genre, Paul Thomas Anderson.
There you go.
He's another dude. Some people might put Edgar Wright in there.
I don't think Edgar Wright. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's got a lot.
He doesn't have a lot.
He's got like 4, but he doesn't have like a lot to lend those bona fides.
He started off comedy. I'm gonna do actually. I am gonna do a solo. Maybe you know what? Maybe I'll. I was planning on doing a solo pod about a couple movies I've seen by myself and trying to do a solo one. But I'd rather not. Clarence and I might just do that right now, and
There you go.
I'll just spout my thoughts, at least to have a person to bounce it off of.
Yeah.
Rather
There you
than staring
All right.
into a camera. But whatever. All right. Thank you, everybody. Once again, 3 resounding endorsements.
Yeses all
From-
around.
Yes.
Yes, from 3 absolute pinnacles of the film criticism industry.
Yeah.
Clarence Riley IV, Jimmy D, and Nick Tozzo. Clarence, where can the folks find you? What do you want them to know about you?
Try not to look for me. I try to keep a real low profile.
That's a savvy technique for a musician. And
I am just. If you want to
Don't
look
worry
up
about
my
it. I don't play
band,
anything.
if you want to look up my band, we're Black Ladder. You can find us in all the regular places.
Yeah.
And just try not to get at my personal life. You know.
all right,
Trying to do it right.
find Black Ladder on Spotify or Instagram. Jimmy D,
Yes, please do find me. I need followers. I need more than 50 followers. Sleepy Cowboy TX, Bad Thrillers TX, and me and my friends do some comedy stuff on Danger Junior PR.
Those are all on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagrams.
And once again, this is your host, Nick Tozzo. You love me. You know me. You don't even need to hear my plugs, but Nick Tozzo on Twitter, Nick Tozzo Drums on Instagram. Thank you again to my burgeoning South Asian fan base for making one of my Instagram videos blow up to 33,000.
Yes.
I don't know what Clarence is showing to the. Am I having to beep out? Are you showing pornography to my camera right now?
Just a big old picture of my dick.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. Go watch Nope. The more you go see these kinds of movies, the more they'll keep making them. And if we can replace all the Marvel movies with more Jordan Peele's, that's exactly what we're looking for in the film business. All right. Thanks everybody. Let's get trashed.
Y'all take it easy.